to Yap and Yak, the podcast where two siblings talk about whatever the hell they want. We're going to talk about our preconceptions of New York City in the US, because Doc is leaving me.
I am. It's a sadness. It's a tragedy, I know.
Like, I know we're constantly mentioning it, but, like, it is such, like, a black cloud over my life.
Yeah, it's really affecting her. I saw her crying in the corner the other day.
Which corner?
In the kitchen. You were, like, sitting down, facing the wall, like, hunched over in your fetal position, and you were just crying.
That's strange. That was at 3 a.m. You should have been asleep.
I'm everywhere.
Everywhere all at once.
I am in the walls. I have like a little tingle when someone's crying about me. I'm like, oh, empathy.
You're like Santa, but for like personal feelings.
Like, I see you when you're crying. I know when you're sad.
Yeah, so let's reveal our preconceptions about New York. Do you want to go first?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of New York, as it does for most people, I imagine, is Friends. Do you hate Friends or love Friends? She hates Friends.
I'm not a huge fan of Friends.
You know,
I think the best ones are Chandler and then Joey later on. Because I've sat through quite a few episodes of Friends because you and Emma used to watch it. But then you've got Rachel, who keeps going back and like keeps making the same mistake. I know she's supposed to be like naive and that all this is new, but also like, why are you going back?
Yeah,
I feel like what is the appeal?
I feel like Rachel is a good individual character, but I don't like her character arcs with Ross.
Yes, okay, I would agree with that. I like how she develops her independence, gets her own job, all does this, and then it gets all undone at the end, which sucks.
And Monica?
I like Monica. I think I don't like her only in small ways because she reminds me too much of me.
Yeah, no, I see that.
We're both like a little bit neurotic.
Yeah, a little bit OCD.
Yeah, but she's like to an extreme.
Yeah. So it's self-loathing.
Pretty much.
You don't like her.
Yeah, you put it exactly.
So
what
when
do you...
So that's what I think of when I think of New York. What do you think of? What first comes to your mind?
Well, because I'm a little bit of a nerd, I listen to this podcast called 99% Invisible.
Okay.
Which is about like hidden design features, and I've done a couple of them in New York.
Okay. And
so that's where I learned about the I Heart New York logo.
That's cool.
And how New York State owns that logo, and it's apparently the official slogan of New York.
Yeah.
But you will see like a million knockoffs of it and such. I listened to the episode a while ago. But that's like my main association, and then like just egregious billboards on 24/7.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the musical theatre I won't get to see.
Yes, that's good. Except Broadway's really expensive, I hear, in New York.
But also like all the little bits of shows. All the musicals I never get to see, and all like the tiny little theatres and clubs with the comedy and the underground stuff.
Oh, I hear the comedy's really good. I'm looking forward for that because I like comedicness, as you would know, since I'm so funny.
You're just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, incredible.
Hilarious, my friend.
But a fear of mine in New York is that their humour may not be British, so they might not get most of my jokes.
Yeah, you might just be like falling flat.
Yeah, I really don't want that. That would really upset me.
I feel like New Yorkers might get sarcasm.
I think New Yorkers are probably the most similar Americans to British people.
They are quite close. They're on this coast at least.
Yeah, the East Coast, which is nice. And the temperature's somewhat similar. Are they higher or lower?
I think we're in a similar latitude.
Yeah.
But the UK has the jet stream, which helps normalise our weather patterns. So it's not as cold. Well, it's not as cold as it would be, considering our latitude doesn't get as hot. But it brings some warm air from like Spain and stuff, which is why we still have a summer, even though we're fairly north. Okay, so this is Rachel in the edit here, and I am checking my remembering of the jet stream and how it relates to UK weather. There is a lot of complicated weather science that I do not understand, but the short of it is that there's a lot of factors, including the Gulf Stream, jet stream, latitude, and also the UK being an island, that all affects the relative mildness of the UK's winter weather. I'm going to leave the links that I use in the description, and I'm not a geographer, so apologies if I am still very wrong.
So online, it says New York City is renowned for its iconic landmarks like the Statue of Liberty, Times Square, and Central Park, as well as its global influence in finance, culture, and media. Woo!
The place to be.
The place to be. And I've never been to Central Park since I've never been to New York, and I'm concerned about being disappointed because it's really hyped up. but there are lots of lovely green spaces around us. Like, we live in a village that's right next to a forest, and we go there kind of a lot. So I feel like I might be disappointed.
I mean, I think I'd call it, like, the woods.
Okay, same thing. They're, like, synonymous. Stop being pedantic, Rachel.
Yeah, but, excuse me. But no, I've never once gone, I'm going to walk the dog in the forest. No, I'm going to walk the dog in the woods.
I just use them interchangeably.
Yeah.
Get over it.
I will.
When I leave. And you'll never see me again. And then
I'll be, like, forgiving of all your faults.
It's known that you think of the past in a more positive light than it is, and think of the present in a more negative light than it is. Ooh. But, like, you generally remember past experiences to be more positive. That's why a lot of people, like, wish they were kids again, because they think of it as so great, but it's just not true. Like, you are, at least for me, I wouldn't want to be a kid again, because, like, while I remember a lot of it being great, I also remember having no power or control over my own life, and I really hated that. And my favourite thing about being an adult is making my own choices and just, like, existing for myself, rather than everything in my life being dictated, which is how it is as a kid.
I sort of miss that structure a little bit. Like, the way that I didn't have to think about doing anything, and yet went to all these things that I enjoyed, somehow. It's like, oh, I want to bake, I'll go to baking club. I want to go to Stagecoach, I just go to Stagecoach.
I mean, I guess so, but at the same time, there's things like, you have to do maths, and you have to do things you don't want to do. But now I'm going to go study acting because I love acting, and it's what I want to do. I'm doing things because they're good for me now, rather than just having to do them, even if you hate them, and they're going to not impact your life at all.
Yeah, I think the difference here is that I really enjoyed school. But, like, I got to read on the bus on the way to school, and I got to learn stuff all day, and I was okay at my academics, and I got to read at lunchtime or just chat with my friends. And I got to go home and left everything. And, like, I could do whatever I wanted and play on the DS for hours, and it didn't matter, because I'd already done all the work at lunchtime, and capital N, nerd.
Yes, very much a capital on that one. As capital as New York. Transition.
Transition.
That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
We never stay on topic. Okay,
we never
what else are you expecting about the food in New York?
I love food. I'm a big foodie. I've been to Italy more than any other country because I love the food there. So I love bagels here. But I'm told by anyone who's been to New York that bagels here suck. Which makes me really excited to go to New York, because my perception of English bagels is going to go all the way down, which is sad in one way, but also my mind is going to be blown when I have actually a good bagel if I already love the bad bagels.
I think a lot of the food is different because we have different regulations. So, like Subway, for example.
Subway.
We have the same charge. Because in Ireland, Subway couldn't call their bread. They had to call it brioche because there was too much sugar in it, because they used the American recipe. So you're going to find that food costs very different things. Yeah, because Helen's got a lot of family in the US, and we were having a conversation, and she was like, well, veg is very expensive in the US, whereas we get a bag of carrots for 15p. It's like $2 for a bag of carrots.
With all that land, you would think they would have more farming space.
That's what I said, but apparently most of it is corn.
Well, that's nice for you, because you like corn.
No, corn that goes into, like, to feed the cows and, like, into corn syrup. Not like
sweet
corn.
Oh. Okay.
Some of it is sweet corn, but a lot of it is, like, corn not for people.
Cool. Why do they have so much farming space for that?
Well, it depends how much detail you want to go into here. The half-remembered things I've watched. But they had a lot of subsidies for farmers, and that, like, the bigger you went, the more subsidies you got for farmland. So farms, instead of becoming really, like, efficient and growing a variety, just picked one staple crop and just went out. And that happened to be... I can see I'm boring you, but this happened to be corn.
I'm just tired. Keep going.
Because it's such, like, a good agricultural crop, although it's really inefficient, the way that they farm it. We have some of it in the UK as well. Quite, like, monoculture crops. But sometimes we do the Three Sisters method as well. So, like, you rotate 3 plants, one that will give, like, a nitrogen and one will give a potassium or a phosphate, so that you don't degrade the soil too much. Yeah. But all of these are very old farming methods before we, like, fully figured out, like, soil cycles and stuff. So, there's improvement to be made. And I'm just proving my nerd credentials. I feel like we've got to have, like, a nerd counter in the corner every time I give, like, a random fact.
I think we should do that with this one.
Nerd counter 5.
Talking about things that aren't bagels and corn. I'm really excited for Cheesecake Factory because I love cheesecake, and I've been told cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory is really good.
I love a baked cheesecake. Dad loves a baked cheesecake. He doesn't like a set cheesecake.
What is the difference? I don't know.
Okay. So a set cheesecake is like the easy Nerd
Okay.
counter is the easy cheesecake that like all the English kids learn to make in their like home economical food tech classes.
Okay, I never learned to make that.
You never had food tech though, because you went to a
No.
strange
True.
school.
Acting school, yeah.
So you like blitz up soft cheese and milk, and like you put it in the fridge on gelatin, and you put it in the fridge and it sets, and that's a set cheesecake. Whereas a baked cheesecake, you would do the mixing and the eggs and everything, and then you put it in the oven and it bakes.
So is that the one that looks not how you would imagine a cheesecake to look?
So the baked cheesecake often has like a higher rim, and then it sort of goes down a little bit because it's risen and then it's cooled and it's sunk in.
Yeah.
That would be a baked cheesecake.
And they're like brown, right? I really like set cheesecake then.
I do like set cheesecake as well. They can be a little bit bland.
Okay, yeah, no, I see that. I don't think they will in America because they'll shove them full of so many different flavors. But you
You're
know,
going to come back full of corn
obese.
syrup. Obese? I was just going to say full of corn syrup.
I'm gonna come back obese.
Oh.
You can't avoid it in America,
No,
really.
it's
Well, you
very,
can
very
if you try
difficult.
really hard.
And you've got the money to buy organic, but you don't.
No, there are so many things deterring you from a healthy lifestyle there. It's really difficult to have a healthy lifestyle. So I feel really bad for people who are trying to lose weight in America because your country is actively working against you.
It is. And like we have food deserts in the UK. Difference in scale between the UK and the US food deserts is absurd.
Yeah. And then Europe's incredible. Because
Oh,
all
yeah.
the food is like just the vegetables. It tastes so nice, and bread it tastes so nice. Just the basic materials
We
are
are
great.
we are talking Western Europe, Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Different climate, different food culture.
I'm talking Spain, Italy, France.
Yeah. Whereas I love all of like the Polish food, pierogi.
What happened? Do you want to come on my video?
So my laptop has died because I forgot to plug it in. But we are recording in different places to begin with because we need to get that system sorted for when he's not here. Do you want to outro?
We can outro. So, we didn't speak much about New York this time, but we're doing a New York episode when I get to New York about how my reality compares. So you're going to hear about me eating cheesecake and me eating bagels, and it's going to be very exciting. I thought we've just talked about food, haven't we?
We have.
That's always...
We have, but we'll have to talk about the transit system as well.
Yes, about the subway.
I feel like that deserves another nerd point.
Yes, it does. It absolutely deserves something at a point. The count will go on forever. Okay, that is what we're doing next time, talking about New York when I actually get there. And I have been Doc, and I do the yapping.
I've been Rachel, and I do the yakking.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Being sexy and free. The glitter's raining on me.